Huawei, the tech company that once competed with both Apple and Samsung. But over the course of just 1 year, Huawei went from around 20% in 2020 to roughly 2 to 3% of the Q3 2025 market share in the phone industry. So what happened to them? And do you think would Huawei be able to recover to become the biggest Chinese tech company in the world? Stick around to find out. I'm Jude from Jude Tech and welcome to the channel, where we discuss different types of tech from ranging from Apple and Samsung to others like Huawei, Oppo, and all those. Subscribe for the latest tech news and interesting news almost every week and hit the bell icon to turn on notifications. Alright, let's jump in. So before we begin, let us find out what happened to Huawei in the beginning. So Huawei was founded in 1987 in Shenzhen, China, and before they started producing electronics, they started as a small parts owner. In 2004, Huawei released the C300, the first phone created shortly after they created their Huawei handset division in 2003. In 2009, Huawei released their very first phone to be powered by Android, known as the U8220. As of right now, the most popular Android phone is the P30 Pro, which sold 10 million units in just 85 days after being released in 2019. Sadly, however, this would become the final device to be shipped with Android before losing to Google Android services, with the Mate 30 and 30 Pro becoming the first device to release without Android support. So then it begs the question, why did Huawei lose support to Android services, and what did they do after? Well, to answer the first part of that question, in May 2019, the United States Department of Commerce placed the company, Huawei, on the Entity List. Now, if you're not from America like me, the Entity List is a trade restriction which doesn't allow a national or foreign company to use any specific product developed in the US. Google, being a US product and company, couldn't therefore provide Huawei with Google Mobile Services, or GMX. However, until around 2021, Huawei could still use the open source version of Android without the use of complete Google services. Around 2021, Huawei changed the Google Play Store to the official app gallery, and the only way to use Google search engine or anything Google related, you had to install using a third-party website in the app's downloader. Needless to say, Huawei lost around 15% of the market share, as well as all the sales that they've made around the US and Canada, or European areas, or rather US and European areas had tanked. The only way to purchase a Huawei device around that area was to order it online and pay extremely more for shipping. As if where I'm from, living in Africa, Huawei is pretty big, so it's not really not really a difficulty to get such a device. In 2021, Huawei released their own in-house operating system called Harmony OS, with the Mate 40 Pro becoming the first phone to use it. When it was released on phones, it was called Harmony OS 2. Harmony OS base model was worked for Huawei TVs and for other devices that weren't Huawei phones up until around 2021. Which leaves us to today. Most of the market of Huawei is China and part of Africa. Currently, the most famous phone released by the Huawei company was the Mate XT, which was the first big flagship phone to be released as a tri-folding phone before the Samsung Trifold came around, which apparently got destroyed by JerryRigEverything. There we go. Here's a clip.
Which almost makes me want to give it a chance. The Mate XT Ultimate can...
So the question still remains, would you buy a Huawei device? Personally, I've had experience with Huawei. My father has a Huawei pad or tablet, I don't know what they're called. And to be honest, it's really difficult to navigate. Probably because I'm being brainwashed by Android, so I'm not used to Harmony OS. But of course, it's by your choice. Whatever you choose is ultimately your opinion. If you like this video and want to see more videos coming up, I'll be talking about the Galaxy Watch 7 and all its cool features and why I would recommend it in 2026. And to be honest, it is one of the best watches I've ever tried. I have like 4 watches by now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Comment down below to see what you want next. If it's not the watch, maybe you want to see what phone I'm using and why I'd recommend it, and what setup I'm using right now. just leave a comment and I'll tell you everything. This is Jude Tech. I am Jude Moffat, of course, and I'll catch you later.